Hello, it's me, and this is a little bit of an experiment, a little test to see how well it works. From time to time, I get people asking questions regarding solves, strategies, or to try to maybe delve a little deeper into some of the techniques that I was talking about with some of the tutorials, and feel free to do that. What I'm going to do is address a couple of those, and we'll see how well this works. So I had one viewer who asked about this 4x4x5, and he got it into this configuration, or something very much like this configuration. So he had stated that he had it all solved except for these, well, this area over here. And he provided a picture, which looks something like this. So what I'm going to do is show how to do this. Now, if you would like further demonstration about this super 4x4x 3x3x5, then let me know. But otherwise, I'm going to just kind of address this situation. What this really is this is kind of like the 3x3x8 cube, where it was really just a super 3x3x7, but they just kind of glued on a piece on top of that. So you can see that this is almost like a cross cube, where this bottom part here is basically a circle cube, where it's been gutted to where it can turn about the axis, and then they glued these pieces on where this can, so that this can turn on top of that. And then you've got this part that can turn here. So how do you get this to here? Well, this is exactly the same technique that I use for getting centers of big cubes. So I'm just going to go through that again. But basically what you want to do is, in a situation like this belongs up here, and this part moves, but this doesn't. So what you want to do is line it up to where a 2R move can put it into here. So we're going to line it up, say, over here, because a 2R move will take this piece and put it right where it needs to be. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to put it here and then kind of take it out of commission. Now I think the setup that I was given, the picture that I was given, looked a little like this, but not exactly. So what you want to do is, in your particular puzzle, line it up to where this is at the back. The one that you're, the place that's empty, the empty socket here, is on the right up area. And you've got a position to where the segment in the back is going to come up to here and join this side over here. And what you want to do is you want to do a 2R and then a U, but the U is just turning this top layer here. So U, and that kind of puts this here. Then 2L to take that out of the picture. And then I'll swing it back with a UI. And I'll do a 2R again, which brings back what you originally took out. And then do another UI, and then swing it back with a 2L. And that will solve it. Now, I had another question regarding this puzzle. This is the helicopter dodecahedron. Now, I have not done a video on this one yet, but that's actually coming, where I do a full tutorial on how to solve this. But I know what it's like when you've got a puzzle and you really want to solve it and you can't find the solution and it drives you crazy. So in deference to that and out of respect for that, I figured I'd just kind of go through this. Now, what this viewer writes is that he basically, it sounds like, has it solved, and he describes that at the end, 2 corners are in place and the other 3 corners match, but must be reversed as the algorithms used in the curvicopter doesn't help with this one. So I think what he's describing is 2 of the corners are in, but 3 of the corners are out. But he says that they're matched, which basically means to me that they're in the right place. They just need to be rotated. So it's my hope that this is the scenario that you're talking about. And if you think it's difficult solving this, try putting it in a confirmation that, or in a configuration that is a little different than what the solve is. Now, I am going to get into further details about exactly how to go through the entire solve of this one. I'm going to go through the algorithms and whatnot, but this is just a quick rundown of how to approach this top layer here. Now, what you want to do is you want to somehow rotate these guys around. Now, is there an algorithm to do that? Well, we could try to do the algorithm with a curvicopter here. And as you recall, that algorithm, in order to keep all of these the same but just rotate, if I were to hold this over here, the algorithm that I'm going to use will keep this exactly the same. These guys are going to rotate, these 3 are going to rotate here. They're not going to shift, they're just going to rotate. And that was when I turned it here and went right up back, up, left, up, and I just kind of went around 3 times. So that's. Now notice what that did is that did a couple of useful things for me. One of which is it put my centers back in, kept this segment exactly where it was, and these segments predictably stayed where they are, but they rotated. So that's a way that you can rotate these while keeping this steady over here. The question is, can I do something similar to this, where instead of 1, I keep 2 steady, and I just do an algorithm that rotates these guys? And unfortunately, no, you can't. It's not going to work with this particular puzzle, and that has to do with the fact that this has 5 edges instead of 4 edges. We're not going to get away with that. The reason for that is I had to turn this 3 times around to get the centers back. In this case, I also have to turn it 3 times to get these centers back. But unfortunately, I have to turn it 4 times to get that situation where 1 is in and the 3 are also in but just rotated. But because I have to rotate it around 4 times, the centers are going to be out and will make it completely useless. Let me give you an example of what I mean by that. So I'm going to use an edge over here. And let's say I decide to do the same thing. Starting from here, I'll go 1, 1, 1, 1, 1, and then 2, 2, 2, 2, 2, and then 3, 3, 3, 3, 3. So basically what that did is it got my centers back with 3. This did indeed stay the same. But take a look at this. This is not the green, white, and pink. That's over here. The green, white, and pink is over on this side. So what happened is that this stayed the same, but this didn't have a chance to end up back over here because as you're rotating it around, these guys were kind of flipping. So you'd actually have to do it one more time to get this back over to here. But you're going to get these out of sync, and these centers are going to be skewed. So actually what will happen when you do that same algorithm here is these don't end up at the same place. They end up shifted. To get it back, you'd have to do it again. 1, 1, well, 4, I guess 4 and 4. So this is back. These are all back to where they're supposed to be, but rotated, but my centers are skewed. So that's not going to work with this one. Okay, so I got that back here. So how then do I deal with this? How can I get these out? Well, what we're going to have to make use of is an algorithm that I'm going to introduce now, which is the double jumble maneuver. All right, so basically what this is going to do is, as you recall, it's going to switch the orbits of this, and it's going to switch these two. So the overall effect that I'm looking for is this is going to come here and this is going to come here in exactly this conformation. So it's going to look like this, but the difference is that these are all going to be turned back except for the middle bar.
Dad? Mm-hmm. Did you ever solve this?
Oh yeah. Actually, this is the way it is because I solved it, but I just kept these out.
And it's me again, Noah.
And it's Noah again, right. A little past his bedtime, but that's okay. So the double jumble maneuver is where you go to the right upside here, slice it here, then you go to the left front over here. If I can do it, there. And then once you have it like this, you then do a 2F over here, and you're swapping this. So 2, and then, if you can, bring it back. And then you do just the opposite. Then you go to the left up over here, then the right front over here, and then you double turn it here, bang, bang, and then do a 2F. So the overall effect is we have our centers back, which is good, but these two swapped. This swapped as well, but that's something else that is going to come into play later. But this is an algorithm that just isolates the corners, keeping the centers exactly where they are. So we're going to be making use of that, but understand, when this flipped, when this turned, it turned exactly like this. You didn't do any other rotating other than what you would have expected by doing a turn like this anyway. So just to show that maneuver again, which we will be talking about in a lot more detail when we actually do the tutorial on this. Turn. Turn and double turn. Okay. The other thing that I would point out is that when you kind of take this around the world, notice that when I went around with it, I caused this to turn as well. So what I could do is let's say I wanted to flip something, but I wanted it to not flip in this conformation here. By taking it around and bringing it back, I can actually have it turned. Now I'm going to use that concept to solve this. So I assume that this is what you meant. These are all out. Well, I don't know of a way to just flip these around right in the segment that they're at. I don't really know of a way to do that, so I'm not going to do it that way. What you really want to do is you want to end up getting them out of this configuration so that you can do a flip and you can flip them back in. So here's what we're going to do. Okay, so what I'm going to do first is this needs to make it back to here, but in a rotated state. So I'm going to start the process of turning this to here, but then I'm going to do an exchange, do a double jumble exchange so that I can move this back. So I'm going to first move this from here to here, and then to here. And this is for the purposes of exchanging these two because it's already on the way to being, to being rotated by the time it gets back here. So we'll just do a double jumble here to disarticulate it from here and then move this back so that it can receive it from here. So this is going to now double jumble into this area here. So we go up, down, double turn, down, up, then left up, right front down, double turn, then move it back up, and then double turn. So that took it out of here, and now we're going to move this back because they did not affect these centers this way. So turn, turn, and turn. All right, so what that did is that basically took this out from here. It managed to take it out from that side. Now, despite doing that, if I were to move it in here, you can see that it's not lined up yet. So what I'm going to do now is I'm going to jumble it again to put it back in here, but now it's rotated a little bit further. So I'm going to go up, down, double turn, bang, bang, up, down, double turn, bang, bang, and here it is. And now we're just going to repeat that. Now what I'm going to do is swing it around again to here and just do that exact same thing. So now we're going to do the same thing. Turn, turn, turn. We're going to once again exchange these two. I'm not worried about this because this is in the same plane, but hopefully now that we've done another circuit, it'll be in the, this will now be rotated correctly here. So go up, down, double turn, bang, bang, up, down, double turn, bang, bang, and double turn. Now that we've done that, let's go ahead and bring all this back. This also put this bar back where it's supposed to be. So turn, turn, and turn. Okay, so now what we have is we're going to now join these two, we're going to double jumble this. This is now going to be completed over here. So this is actually exactly where we want it to be. So this part's going to be solved. This is going to come over here, but it's not going to be solved. So we still have these two to contend with. So up, down, double turn, bang, bang, up, down, double turn. When solving this puzzle, this double jumble maneuvers kind of come in very handy. So now this is in, this is turned. So now we've got these two to contend with, and it's really the same kind of thing. First off, these are in the proper place, but just rotated, and we don't really want to do that. So the process is going to be very similar. Actually, the process is going to be exactly the same thing. So the first thing that we're going to do is get these two out of each other's way. Just disarticulate these two from each other. So double jumble these two so that they're no longer in the right place, just rotated. And double turn, boom, boom. Left, up, rotates up. Right front rotates down, double turn, boom, bang, and double turn. Okay, so these two have been lifted out of the place where we didn't want them to be to begin with, and now we want to try to rotate these guys around in order to put them in appropriately. So in order to do that, what I'm going to do now is do another exchange, but I have to swing them around. So this will come here, turn, turn, and turn. What this, in essence, is going to do is flip this back, but upon flipping it back, it's still not quite going to be rotated in the right place. So this comes up, this comes down, double turn, bang, bang. This comes up, this comes down, double turn, bang, bang, and double turn this. And now let's swing this back. Okay. Now we're kind of where we were before, so these are once again in the proper place, but just rotated. Now I'm going to swap these two again, which is going to put these bars back in and basically swap these out so that we can try the same thing again. So let's swap these out again. Up, down, double turn, down, up, and come up here, bang. Zoom, double turn, here and here, and then double turn. So now this is in. Now we got to get these two back. We have to exchange them back. Well, they're not going to come in appropriately, as we know, if we just double jumble it, because it's the same thing as if we just went like this. So we're going to take it around, which means it'll be exchanged, but in a rotated way. And we're going to take it down to this side, because now we can put this back in. So turn, turn, and turn. So now what's going to happen is it's going to be like we're rotating it here, and you can see this is all fine. So let's do our double jumble and see if this takes us home, because things should be rotated back. So right up, left down here, double turn, bang, bang, turn, turn, double turn, pow, pow. Remember to do the 2F over here. You can see this fits in nicely. Now let's swing this back around. Turn, 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 and then it's done. Okay? So that's how you can finish up the last layer with that. Just remember to not try to rotate it right from where it is. Take it out of there. And you can't just put it back, you have to rotate it around to get it where you want to get it. Generally, you're going to have 3 out and 2 in, and just kind of look at the steps that I did closely, see if that helps. Otherwise, wait, because a full tutorial is coming. Lastly, I've got to visit this guy again. So this is the 3x3x9, and I've actually done 2 videos to try to describe what I'm doing. The first one, a little unclear. The second one, maybe a little too long. But I had another request to try to go through these last 4 layers again. Now, I think one of the problems is that there may have been a little bit of a language barrier. In that I might have spoken a little too fast, and I've got to be cognizant of the fact that there are those listening who don't speak the language and might need a little careful explanation. So I'm going to take it again with these last 3 layers. If you solved the tutorial or did it as I've described, you'll have this in, the middle in, this in, and it sounds like the particular viewer didn't have any problems with this, but just filling these in over here. So what I'm going to do is first focus on this layer over here. What you're looking to do is you're looking to put all of the edges, the corners rather, all of the corners in. So let's see if there's any corners that are already in place. Either corners in place or an entire side. Well, these corners are in place with this middle. If you find one, put it to the left side. So corners are in place. Now we have to put all the other corners in place here. We're going to do that by a corner swapping algorithm. It swaps this corner with this corner. These two will switch. And that way these corners will all be in on this side. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to move this entire layer with it. This layer and everything above. And it's going to correlate with this layer and everything below. This middle layer stays exactly where it is. So find the corners that are solved, if it is there, put it on the left side, and then do a corner swapping algorithm. And that's going to be 2R, U, 2R, UI, 2R. Then turn this top part here to a UI. Then just below the middle segment here, do a D, and then do a 2R UI, 2R U, 2R. Then move this back here, and what you'll have is all of the corners are swapped. Once you do that, we have to do middle swapping. To do middle swapping, this is fine, this is not. So we can do an adjacent middle swap. Adjacent middle swap swaps this middle with this middle. An opposite middle swap will swap this middle with this middle. So here's the adjacent, let's see how am I going to do this. Okay, adjacent middle swap will swap this with this. And that's going to be 2R, U, 2R, U, 2R, 2U, 2R, 2U, 2R, U, 2R, UI, 2R. Okay, that put this middle over here, but also created parity here and here. What you're going to do now is we want to do an opposite middle swap, here to here. Opposite middle swap, 2R, 2U, 2R, 2U, 2R, 2U. Okay, so all that's in. Next layer, up over here. Find corners. Any corners that are in? No. Yes, corners here. So we'll move this to the proper place, put it on the left side, and then we do a corner swap algorithm. Corner swap. Now we just move these, not these, these. Because now both of these, actually, this whole thing here is going to be our middle. So this is our middle, and then everything that we just solved above and below. So this is how it's going to be turned. So 2R, U, 2R, UI, 2R, then UI, and then at the top three, then the bottom three is a D, 2R, UI, 2R, U, 2R. Turn this bottom three back, and we have corners, corners, corners. Now we just do middle swaps. Opposite middle swaps, here to here. 2R, 2U, 2R, 2U, 2R, 2U. Okay? Makes parity over here. Every time you do a middle swap, always there's parity. So we have to turn this over here to match this to get the parity out. Now we do another opposite middle swap. 2R, 2U, 2R, 2U, 2R, 2U. So now this is in. Okay, so these segments are in. Now we do these two. The top part we messed up, but that's okay. We'll get that back later. Same thing, we have these corners are in place, so I'll move that here with this. No corners in place, no corners. So once again, a corner swap to put this pink in here with this pink. Now it's these two and these two that will be moving because this is already solved. 2R, U, 2R, UI, 2R, then UI and D, 2R, oops, UI, 2R, U, 2R, and move this back. Corners in place, corners in place, corners in place. Now we do adjacent middle swap. And that's 2R, U, 2R, U, 2R, 2U, 2R, 2U, 2R, U, 2R, UI, 2R. That's good. That's good. Parity over here. So move it like this to do adjacent middle swap. 2R, U, 2R, U, 2R, 2U, 2R, 2U, 2R, U, 2R, UI, 2R. It fixed this, and now this level is all done. The last one, this last level. Okay? Find corners. Find some corners. There's no corners. So I need to do a corner swap. A corner swap. And it doesn't matter. You can do any corner swap. It doesn't matter. Now we move this and this in conjunction with each other. So corner swap. 2R, U, 2R, UI, 2R, UI, D, 2R, UI, 2R, U, 2R. And move this back. Okay, now look for corners. Aha! Corners. So put this over here to the left. One more corner swap, this will come here. 2R, U, 2R, UI, 2R, turn, turn, 2R, UI, 2R, U, 2R, move this back. So now all of our corners are in. Now edges. So we do edge swaps. So we'll do over here. Over here. We'll do an adjacent edge swap. 2R, U, 2R, U, 2R, 2U, 2R, 2U, 2R, U, 2R, UI, 2R. Big parity over here. That's okay. Opposite middle swaps. So 2R, 2U, 2R, 2U, 2R, 2U. Done. It's all solved. Okay, this will represent the last time I'm going to go through this. I've done plenty of videos. Hopefully that'll help. So my hope is that between this question, and this question, we'll see how this works. If you have any more questions, load them up and I'll try this again, see if it helps. If you need any more clarification with this, the tutorial is coming up. So, thanks for watching.